Hey,
Hi, son.
how you doing?
Ain't not too bad. How are you?
Um, yeah, I'm here.
All right. You don't sound okay.
Um, it's a loaded question, but I'm good.
What's going on?
I'm. It doesn't matter. What's what's up with the call?
Oh, it does. It does matter. What's happened?
I mean, I'm good. I'm doing okay. I'm an adult. I'm taking care of myself.
Is something happened? I mean, I'd like to
No,
know,
I'm
given your sister's, just got out of hospital. So,
I'm safe and I'm good.
okay, yeah. Well, I was just ringing to, are you aware of everything that's happened with Etcha?
I'm very well and caught up.
Okay. Have you seen her and stuff like that?
I was at the ICU when it happened, or I guess the day of. So yeah, I've spoken with her.
Okay. You spoken to Ziggy?
Um, Briefly, yeah. I haven't really seen him that often recently, but yeah, I had a brief conversation with him yesterday.
Hey, is that your Granger parked in the ADMC block?
I don't know. I think you know the answer to that.
Which got your plates on it, so
Yeah. So why are you asking the question?
if you give me the answer.
Well, you know the answer to it. What's the concern?
I don't know, are you hanging out with him?
Can I ask you a question?
I mean, I did just ask you a question, but it should go ahead.
Leading up to this point in this question, we haven't had a face-to-face conversation in over a month. There hasn't been a figure in my life in over a month. And this is the concern right now. This is the time we're going to ask this question.
What's your point exactly?
I should be asking you that question. What's the point of asking?
What's the point of asking if you're hanging around with ADMC?
You tell me.
Do I need to spell it out? Weren't you a detective?
Um yeah, I've been sleeping on someone's couch down here.
Okay. Well, I guess the point of the question is I'm wondering whether you're hanging out with the people that put your sister in the hospital.
And that's the straw that broke the camel's back. Dad, it didn't matter up until this point, right? You needed a reason.
What are you on about? A reason for what?
Just say it. Rip this band-aid off and let's get this over with. You
What are you
know,
on about?
you are also a detective. Dad, I
Come,
know what you want. I know what you're getting at, and you want me to be the one to say it. Don't
come
sound
on.
surprised.
I am surprised because I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So spit it out.
I'm sleeping down here. I'm in talks with Etta. I've been sleeping down here for weeks. It wasn't a concern. The multiple cars that have been parked down here for weeks were not a concern. The day after everything happens, you're calling to check in. You want to know everything about going on in my life. And now you want to know all of a sudden why my car is parked down here and if I'm hanging out with people. Don't sound surprised.
Listen, I'm no idiot. Okay, I've known that you've been doing criminal activity for the past few weeks since our last conversation, right? But from our last conversation, I made my point clear that that was a bad fucking idea, right? And you weren't happy about that, and you made your stroppy little face and you stropped off, right? So I didn't feel like it was my place to push that any further. I was giving you space. If you wanted to reach out, right? So, first of all, I haven't seen your car. I haven't seen you at the ADMC block. So the fact you have been over there, pretty interesting news to me. So, no, this is not me reaching out and the straw that broke the camel's back gotcha moment that you think this is. This is me saying, why the fuck are you hanging out with the torturers that tortured your sister? Answer that question.
Did I
Without
ever
coming up.
say?
No.
Did,
Answer the question without coming up with another question. Answer it. Why are you hanging out with those people?
that is a contradicted question, and you fucking know it.
Answer it. Why are you hanging out with them?
I'm not hanging out with them, Dad. Is that what you want to hear?
Okay. So are you going to continue hanging out with them? Am I going to hear you like
Did I
going
not?
on?
Did I not just say that I'm not hanging out with them?
Okay, fine. Right. That you said that. Are you going to hang out with them in the future? Are you
I'm married to Ziggy, and Rue is my daughter.
I'm not talking about them.
Would you? No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
talking about them.
Nope. Shut the hell up.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like
Ziggy,
Charlie, for
shut up.
example.
Shut
I'm talking
up.
about like Charlie or anybody else in the club. Or
Ziggy
like Finley
is my husband,
down at the Milton's Motors.
and Rue is my daughter.
I'm not talking about your family, okay? I'm
You
talking about
are.
other. No. I'm talking about other members of ADMC.
Are you gonna listen to me, or are you gonna talk
I'm
over
listening.
me?
I'm listening.
No,
I've
no.
already made
Okay.
my point. I've already made my
Cool.
point. I've listened and made my
Great.
point. I'm not talking about your family.
You are talking about my family.
I've already said I'm not talking about Z. I'm not talking about Rule. I'm talking about the rest of ADMC. It's a big club, son.
Mm-hmm. And you've generalized it by asking me the question, are you hanging out with the ADMC? Why are you hanging out with the ADMC? If it hasn't caught up to you yet, Dad, I am married to the ADMC. I've adopted a daughter out of the ADMC. It very much fucking matters.
Right. Okay. So you're saying that it's impossible for you to stay away from the rest of the club? Is that what you're saying?
I never said that.
Okay, let's ask you a different question. Do you agree with what happened to Etcha?
No.
Okay.
Follow it up with the why.
Do I need to?
I don't think so. Clearly, you needed something out of this conversation, though. So let's get it over with.
Sure. Why?
Which part do you want the why for?
Why didn't you agree with what happened to Etta?
Because it wasn't right. It was wrong. Hurting someone else is wrong.
Rue doesn't think that.
So it's not about my family, but now it is.
That's not what I said.
This didn't involve Ziggy and Rue approximately a minute and a half ago.
I was talking about you hanging out with them and being okay with them. I'm saying that your daughter said that what they did was okay. Do you agree with that? You okay with her saying that?
I don't think she said that.
She said that.
To who?
To Etta and Maple.
Were you there?
No. Are you calling
'Cause I
them
was.
liars?
Yeah. I 100 fucking percent am.
So if you go and ask Rue right now, if I go and ask Rue right now, whether she thinks that what the club did was justified, she's going to say no.
If you want to shit stir that, go for it. But I'm
It's
going
not
to tell you
shit-stirring,
now,
it's a question.
you're asking me to answer for someone else's fucking life. Here's what I'll tell you. And I know this. She would never hurt the family. And the problem that I have is that I was told to my face that, quote unquote, I've tried. We've tried. We cannot seem to even make the attempt to have any understanding, and we want nothing to do with her. But they were both under the impression that she would harm the family. So to answer your question, put simply, Dad, they never knew who the fuck she was because they never gave her a chance. Just like you're not giving her a chance.
I've given
But
her
it doesn't
plenty of
matter.
chances.
Yeah. So is fucking everybody, and I'm the fucking Pope too. So let's keep that rolling.
What is this going to do with you?
What does what have to do with me?
What that comment? I'm the Pope too. What's this got to do with you? You got something you want to say yet?
Sounds like you have a lot you got to say. I've said my piece. I said my piece about a month and a half ago. I've been trying for as long as I could remember to do everything in my power to try and communicate and talk with people, and so has everyone else.
That's pretty interesting thing to say. Considering
No. I'm not asking for the contradictions here. This is what I'm telling you. This is no longer a conversation. This is no longer a back and forth. This is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
The day I left, the day I left the police department, do you know how many times anyone in the family communicated with me? I'll save you the trouble. 0. I had a conversation with you in person. The next time you called me, it was because my life may have been in danger. The day after everything happened with Etta, you're calling me now? Interesting timing.
So when you left the police department, I remind you that I had been in the hospital, and you left.
How are your doctor visits going?
And you left the police department.
No. How are
you
your
left
doctor
the police
visits
department
going?
lying, saying that you were doing it to take care of me, which was a lie. I remind you of that.
I'm going to remind you that my intended purpose was to take care of you. And the person that pushed me away was my fucking father. So I don't want to hear it.
But you lied to the police department when you had reached out to me 0 times to take care of me. So
how do I reach out to a man who has a tube in his fucking throat?
But you still lied to the rest of the police department about it.
If you're going to call me a liar, then you never knew who the hell I was to begin with. And say it to my face if you really want to fucking say it.
Listen, what I'm talking about facts here. I'm talking
No, the
about
fact of the
facts.
matter is that I had post-traumatic stress in the ICU room because ICU room number 3 had a dead person in it while you were still laying in the room. I well and aware know why I left. The problem is that you're too naive to realize that I had a reason to leave and I had a medical reason to leave. And if you'd like to know the question of that, Pixie Plum also has the fucking medical report for the therapy session I had to go to. I still can't walk in the fucking ICU room. So if you're gonna call me a liar, call me a fucking liar. How are those doctor visits going?
I haven't been. What's that
No
gonna do with
shit.
anything? What's that gonna do with anything?
I don't know. Oxygen to the brain seems to be pretty important to be in a position that you're in.
Elaborate.
There's nothing to elaborate on. You knew
No,
you
but
had to go to those doctor visits.
no, about the position that I'm in. Go on. You say oxygen to the brain is pretty important about the position I'm in.
You're in a
You
position to make difficult decisions that require good judgment.
right.
End of story. Marshals, police department, lawyer, judge, mayor. Any position that requires critical thinking needs oxygen to the brain.
You have concerns about my judgment.
I've had concerns about your judgment.
Have you gone to my boss about that?
No. Just like the reason I didn't go on your boss is because I want you to live your fucking life. Just like I want you to let me live my fucking life.
Have you been talking about to members of ADMC about members of, about my judgment?
No.
You sure?
You want to tell me otherwise?
Well, someone's been talking to ADMC about myself and Etta guilt tripping and what ifs for a very long time. Because that was one of the reasons that Etta got attacked. Was that Ziggy, Rue, or you?
I don't know what you want from me.
Answer the question.
I'm not in a fucking interrogation room. Would you like to Mirandize me while you're at it?
Listen, answer the question. Was it Ziggy, Rue, or you that was talking to Sean about all of our family problems?
Talking to Sean?
Yep.
Maple?
No. Irish.
Oh.
The person that called victim into your sister's back. You know, the one that tortured her, stabbed her? That one?
Uh-huh.
So who was it that was, you know, gossiping?
I don't know, Dad. It wasn't me.
Wasn't you?
Have you tried communicating with the rest of the fucking family?
I've already spoken to Ziggy.
What did he say?
He said he's spoken to Sean about it. I just wanted to know if you had to.
No. So you know it was Ziggy, apparently. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I know
Ziggy-
Ziggy is one of the people. Sure.
One of the people. Great. You just asked me, I need to know, was it you, Ziggy, or Rue? Sounds like you have your fucking answer.
It sounds like there's been a lot of pent-up resentment. So, if you've been hanging out with these people, it really wouldn't surprise me if you've been bitching behind our backs.
Nothing in my life means more to me than my family. But the moment the family pushes me away and you expect me to come running back because, oh, poor me, let me remind you, by the way, that you're lucky that we're even having this phone call, not for your own sake, but let me remind you that approximately 2 months ago, month and a half ago, we'll say, I should have died on a mountain. I shouldn't be here right now. I told you I wanted to be happy in my life. The biggest mistake I ever made was pulling through in the ICU. My apologies.
Is crime making you happy now?
My life has never been fucking better.
With your sister in hospital? Is that making you happy?
No.
Because your husband's gang put her there? Is that making you happy?
Can you say it already so we can get this over with? It's been 20 minutes, Dad.
Say what? What are you expecting me to say?
What are you expecting me to say?
I don't know, because the conversation I had with Ziggy was different. I'll put it that way.
How am I supposed to feel? How am I supposed to feel?
You don't sound very sad about Etcher, I'll be honest.
You're trying to guilt trip me into having some sort of an emotional feel. I'm sorry that I'm not being pulled by the strings that you're trying to fucking pull. That ship sailed a month and a half ago.
I'm not trying to guilt trip you at all, mate.
No, you are.
I'm
You
not
care
trying to
about
guilt
you,
trip
you care about my emotional state in all of this. I'm not happy about what the fuck happened. I'm against what the fuck happened. I've already said that. But it doesn't involve Ziggy and Rue. Now it's Ziggy's gang. Now it's Rue's gang. It always involved them, and you fucking know it. Do not ever put blame on them.
Don't put blame on them and their gang.
You know what the problem is, Dad? You know what the problem I've been dealing with is? I have been trying to individualize the people that I love in my life for who they are. And as long as I was a cop, I individualized people for who the fuck they were. And the one thing that always seems to trickle down to the bottom is what people are. It doesn't matter who they are. And I know people could turn around, and I know you'll probably turn around and say, well, what they are makes who they are. Who someone is matters. I love my family. I have always loved my family.
Classic. Classic, dude. The spice got too much. Feels like Flops just lied to it through his fucking teeth, man. And Doc knows it. Monka W. Music. Monka. the song was they were playing. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what fucking playlist I had on. I started off with something sad, and then I was like, nope, this is getting pretty intense. Time to put something else on. Fuck. Come on, bro. Fuck. Bastard. I overspiced the server, yeah. It's gonna be spicy. Spicy, spicy. The downfall of the Dark Roads family. Witness live in 4K. Well, 936p specifically. New title. Listen, if Dark finds Flop hanging out, well, Dark's gonna make this point if he gets the chance to, but actually, I'm gonna save it. I wish Matt was around, dude. I wish he was around. Flop is like, after that conversation at Mirror Park, he's like, leave me alone, Dad. I just want to do crime. Also, Flop. Dad, give me attention, Dad. You haven't called me for weeks, Dad. What do you want me to do? Is this what having a child's gonna be like? Is this what I have coming in 14 years? 14 to 18 years? Fuck. This is just prep. Thanks, Chris. Get to use rolls eyes response slash me. Imagine I do a slash me rolls eyes IRL. Just say that out loud. Be a cringe. Taking so long. Oh, look, there's my phone.
Would you hang up?
My phone died.
I don't even remember where the hell we were.
You were saying that beyond anything, you loved your family.
Dad, I've always loved my family.
I'm aware.
So then you would know as well that I would do anything for my family, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you think for a second that being pushed away and being distanced by not just you, not just Matt, not just Etta, not just Maple, every single person in the family pushed me away? The only three people I've had the pleasure of leaning on at my lowest was my daughter, my son, and my husband. They have been my rocks. They will continue to be my rocks.
I'm glad you have that. I am.
There's a but somewhere.
No, but I don't know where you've got this idea that I want something bad for you. That I want your life to be miserable. That I'm some kind of evil father that wants the worst for you. All I've ever wanted for you is for you to be happy and have a family of your own. And you've got that. And I'm happy. But we're not talking about that.
But we are. Dad, we are. We have been this whole time. Because it doesn't matter how it happens or where it comes. At some point in this conversation, it has been mentioned, Ziggy and Rue have been mentioned, followed by their gang. So it doesn't matter that it doesn't involve them or that my side of the family doesn't matter. I know you want the best for me. Obviously, everybody that loves me wants the best for me. If people can't, under any circumstance, find the love or care that they reciprocate for me, or at least my family, my side of the family, whose side am I going to pick? I'm not leaving Rue and I'm not divorcing my husband. They have both individually been pushed away in their own ways. And you know that. when you create a wedge and a divide, sometimes it's difficult. I don't want there to be a wedge, and I don't want there to be a fucking divide. I don't want any of this. I never wanted any of this. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to focus on my family. I wanted to retire and focus on your health. And instead, I got the rest of my family being pushed away and people pinning me as the pinnacle of questionnaire for me to answer questions on behalf of other people. Because people fail to have any trust in my family. What side am I supposed to pick, Dad? Middle grounds are over. Middle grounds have been over for a long time. I can tell you who calls me every day. I can tell you who texts me every day. I can tell you who checks up on me every day. I'll save you the trouble to break that one down. It's not yourself. It's not Matt. It's not Maple. And it's not Etta. There have been small attempts here and there. Bob left the PD. Now what? I left for family. What did my family do? They left me. I tried to be honest. I tried to be forthcoming about my intentions. I said I wanted to be happy in life. And I was told I was going to get a bullet in the back of the head for it. So let me remind you, I got a bullet near damn in the back of my head. I had 6 guns to the back of my head. Just for simply wearing the badge.
Yeah, that happened. So, you nearly died for wearing a badge from the gang. And Etta got tortured by a gang for saying some words.
I didn't ask for her side.
Her side's irrelevant. Don't you agree?
Agree that her side's irrelevant?
Yep.
Everything has relevancy. And what happened to her, again, I don't agree with. And I told you that.
Do you think there's something she could have said that could have made it relevant for her to get tortured?
I don't know, Dad.
You don't know.
Have you tried calling a source? Have you tried talking to Etta?
I know the story, mate. I know everything.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get your opinion on the matter.
You know my opinion.
You've just given it to me. And the fact that it wasn't just no outright.
Don't twist that.
You're not the flop I used to know.
Don't fucking twist that. You know that as well as I do. Do not fucking twist that.
Listen, your car is parked to the ADMC block. I think you don't really... I think based on what you've just said, you think there is some things that Etta could have said that led to her getting stabbed.
I wasn't there, Dad. I didn't know what happened. I didn't ask what happened. I wasn't in the room when the police were taking the statement. How the fuck am I supposed to know anything that happened to Etta? You know what I know? The injury and the medical report, because I'm one of the emergency contacts. I don't agree with it. If you think me having a half-second judgmental question to say that everything in life has relevance, you know as well as I do. I grew up and lived my life on this island on facts and fucking evidence. What do you expect me to say?
I'm not talking to you as a cop. I'm not talking to you as a detective. I'm just basically asking, is there any words that Etta could have said that would have justified her getting tortured by that gang?
I already told you no. But by the way I answered it, I've concluded your opinion. The whole consensus to this entire phone call was my opinion. Because the flop you used to know no longer exists, right?
Hey,
Let me remind you.
the flop I used to know wouldn't have been doing crime, right?
What crime have I done, Dad?
You've been spotting a hell of a lot of street races from what I've heard.
Is that what they're saying?
That's what they're saying.
Cool.
You also had fentanyl in your trunk.
Huh?
Did I stutter?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that.
Nothing to elaborate on.
I had fentanyl in my trunk.
That's what I've been told.
Wow. You know what it sounds like, Dad? Sounds like your sources are shit.
Who's Blackjack?
It's a poker game at a casino.
I didn't say what's Blackjack. I said who's Blackjack.
I don't have a fucking clue.
Listen, son. I'll put it this way.
There's nothing to put it as. I'm gonna tell you how it. No. Wherever you're getting your sources and your information.
I'm not talking about
Hold
that
on.
anymore, but
Hold.
go
No.
ahead.
No. Is shit. And if you remember correctly, in Mirror Park, I told you I had intentions. Why are you surprised?
I'm not surprised.
Sounds like you are. I asked you what crime I was doing, and you said a lot of people are saying flop street racing. Huh. Interesting. I can't recall. Well, let's pretend for a minute that was true. Was that not discussed?
Is that the only crime you've been doing?
Did I ever admit to doing crime, Dad?
That's not the question I asked.
The way you questioned it is contradicting and is arguably incriminating. Think about what the fuck
You
you
have
just
not
asked.
been Mirandized. This
How do I
phone
know
call's
this isn't
not
being recorded?
It's not being recorded.
How am I supposed to know
why
that?
would I record our phone call? What is going on with you? Why are you so paranoid?
Don't act stupid. You know exactly why I'm paranoid.
Why would I be trying to arrest you?
Why would you be calling me?
Because you're my son.
Am I? Am I really? Because I've always loved you. And I will continue to love you no matter how you treat the rest of this phone call. And no matter how you judge it by the time we hang up. That will never change. But apparently it has changed for you, not me.
Nothing's changed for me. And yet, 4 or 5 times this whole conversation, you've assumed that there's something I want to say, which sounds a lot like you projecting.
I've been, Dad. The
So
family, it's not just you, and it's not just Matt, it's everybody.
if there's something you want to do, if there's something you want to say, just get it over with.
I've said it already, and all
No,
I
no,
ask is for you to
just,
listen.
just listen. Grow a spine and say it.
If this entire conversation wasn't me with a spine, then I don't know what is. The family pushed me away, and you're surprised I'm
Nobody's
around.
pushed you away. Nobody's done
You,
that.
the fact you even think that is disgusting. The fact you even can consider that
You
is
got out of the
disgusting.
ICU and had to wait 10 days for my own son to call me. Me.
I didn't see you in a fucking week.
You
I wasn't
didn't
gonna
try
text
to
you.
call me. You text me 10
I
days
wanted
later.
to
Don't
see
fucking
my
talk about
father.
pushing anybody away.
Do you remember
I
in
don't
Mirror
fucking
Park
talk
when I
about
said
nothing.
no, no,
And then
no?
don't
Do you
and
remember?
then Mirror
No, no,
Park,
no, no,
you
no, no,
walked
no.
away from the conversation because you wanted to do crime. And then don't come to
No,
me a month later and say, "Oh, Daddy, why didn't you call me, Daddy?" So
no.
fuck off with that shit. You don't get to pick
The
it. You don't
first
listen.
thing I
You lay the
said.
bed, now lay in it, okay? Make it lay in it.
Okay,
You can't have both worlds.
I didn't give both worlds. The first thing I
You want one or
said.
the other.
Do not ultimatum this bullshit. Let me make my fucking point. The first thing I said to you when I saw you in Mirror Park was that I'm better now that I see you. All I wanted in my life was to see you not in a bed with a tube in your throat. I didn't want to hear it over the phone. I didn't want to text you. I wanted to see it because I'm dealing with trauma. And by the end of that phone call, by the end of that conversation, while I tried to make amends and was honest with you, all you could mention was a week after I almost lost my life, you resulted in my life ending with a bullet in the back of my head. How the fuck am I supposed to feel?
God forbid I be concerned about my only surviving son going into a life of crime where he could die. God forbid. God forbid I give some hard truths to swallow.
God forbid I work with Brian Knight.
Yeah, the job is hard, son, but at least you're saving lives
bad ones
instead of
on both
taking them.
sides, and you know it.
Right, and then look at the people you're hanging around with now. Look what they've done to your sister.
I'm hanging out with nobody, and I've already made that fucking clear.
You want to keep up with that lie? You really want to keep telling that lie?
Sure, actually. You know what? Fine. Yes, I live at the block. I've been sleeping here because I haven't been able to go home. I haven't wanted to go home. The people that have actually taken me in, and the people that have given a shit about me and check in and call me is my daughter and my husband.
So you admit you've been lying. Listen, if you continue hanging out with these people, the same ones...
Did I not say that earlier in the phone call?
You said you were hanging out with your family, not the rest of the club. If
no
you can
shit, I'm going to see... No. No shit, I'm going to see the rest of the club, Dad. You can't play that game either. I live down here. I sleep down here. It's usually good to get to know your neighbors. And yeah, as a matter of fact, Dad, I work at Milton's Mods. I advertise every day as a mechanic. My boss is Finley Milton. Of course I hang out with people. Of course I see it. I didn't think I need to spell that out for you. I think that's pretty common sense. You just wanted to hear it from me. You're hearing it from me. I didn't think that needed to be spelt out any more than it's been explained.
And you're comfortable continuing to do that, knowing that what they did to your sister?
I love my family, and I don't agree with what happened to Etta. Don't forget who's making the conclusion here.
Answer the question.
Say it again.
Are you comfortable being around all of those people, being friendly with them, working with them after what they did to your sister?
Milton's Bonds has nothing to do with what happened to Etta. It is a separate business. I'm going to continue sleeping on this couch. But I don't agree with what happened for the 87th time.
So yes, you are going to continue being friendly and working with them.
Let me ask you a question. Are you comfortable working in a place that happens to hold an ex-treasonist and hired ex-gang members with a front receptionist that does moonshine on the side?
You've lost it, son. You've
No,
actually lost it. You've actually lost it.
Conan Clarkson, the
Listen, I'm
treasonist.
very well aware of who's hired to the marshals, but to compare the two situations right now, when your sister's just got out of hospital, tortured by the gang that your husband and daughter are in, is actually crazy. We're not talking about that. The fact you're having to bring that up to defend your own actions is
I'm
disgusting.
not. What is there to defend? I already told you exactly how I feel about the situation. Guilty by association, malicious compliance. These are all the buzzwords that you need me to admit to. Yes, I live here. Yes, I sleep here. Yes, I see members of the club. And so help me God, that won't be changing.
Why not? Why not go sleep in a hotel? Go sleep in the
Let me
apartments.
divorce my husband and leave my daughter while
No,
I'm at
go
it.
sleep in the
Just
apartments. If you
what
don't agree
difference
with
does
it,
it make?
you don't get to see the people that attacked your sister, for God's sake. You clearly don't have an issue with it. Because if you did, you wouldn't be able to look those people in the eyes.
This is what it's coming down to. You don't think I have any sympathy for what happened. You don't think I have any remorse.
How can you be around those people and not want to do something about it? Be angry. How can you look at them and be okay with it?
I'm not.
But you're
Again,
comfortable sleeping? What about if they come after you next? What about if they kick the door down in the middle of the night and Sean drags you out?
they won't.
I hope you have some assurances, son. They clearly have no issues going after family members, do they?
The only regret I have, Dad, the only regret I have is not trying to reach out more, I guess. I'm sorry that the rest of the family distanced themselves from me. I'm sorry at my lowest time, all I could fucking do was sit in a corner and cry. I'm sorry that all I could do was stand outside an ICU room because I
No,
was
no,
too
no, no.
uncomfortable.
Get
No,
out
no,
your
no, no, no.
pity party.
Don't
No, no, no. Take some
shut the
fucking
fuck up.
responsibility for a change, okay? Take some
Okay,
responsibility and
here's
grow up, okay?
responsibility. Here's responsibility. Nothing in my life is going to change as of right now because when I tried to be honest with you and I tried to communicate this shit with you, you turned me away just like the rest of the fucking family did. Don't
Listen,
forget who turned on who.
you're just like the rest of the AMC. You're a victim, all right?
Generalize, generalize, fucking
Yeah,
generalize.
yeah. Listen, go hang
Yeah,
out with you. If I see you hanging out with them in the future, you're no son of mine.
good. I'm not your son anymore. Goodbye.
All it took was a push. He wanted to say that from the start.